What's going on, guys? This is Nathan from the Scrub Academy welcoming you to another deck profile here on the channel. Our locals finally returned after being shut down by COVID, and we got our first place deck profile, so let's get right into it.
My name's Gabe. I went 5-0 with Prank Kids here at Locals today. I'm just going to go ahead and save you all some time and jump right into the profile. For the main deck monsters, we're running 3 Fansies, 3 Dropsies, 3 Lamsies, and only 2 of the Roxies. It didn't really come up that, you know, the lack of a third Roxies really hurt me at all, so I just like it to have it so I can run some other stuff. Just the 11 main deck monsters. 3 Exceed. Parallel Exceed blocks on the Meow Moo summon, so it's really useful for making sure that you don't get ashed or, you know, Skullmeistered on that first summon, because that is your most vulnerable point, is to make sure you have some chain blocks during that time, because that's going to be your weakest point in the entire combo. Straight into hand traps from there. That's it for monsters you're summoning. 3 Droll. The Drolls came up against a lot of people. Everyone's searching this format, so it's super useful. Same with the Ashes. Ashes, super good this format. Everyone knows it. Stopping those critical junctions, even against the Prank Kid mirror if you had it. Stopping those critical points in the combo, super useful for making sure you don't get, you know, dumpstered and then you have to play through some stuff. Rounding out the Hound Traps, we got Bells, 2 Bells. Bells just good this format. If this were a different format, I might play something different like Phantasme, but in this format specifically, Bells super good. And then we have the Cyframe package. Stopping you from getting Anaconda is pretty important. Dragoon is a real pain to get over in this deck, so stopping the Anaconda from going off, stopping the the hand traps on your places or your searchers, super important. Finish up the monsters and moving straight into spells. We have Prank Kid's Place, Searcher. And with this, you have essentially the 14 starters in the deck. I've never not had a starter in all 5 rounds, so super useful, super consistent. The 2 Prank Kids Pranks. Third one never really came up. I know a lot of people like to play 3, but the third really never came up. Your pitch, if you opened up a regular combo with a starter, you're pitching this and then adding it back for the draw in the end phase. So you never really need the third, because you're never shotgunning desires in this deck. You're going through all your combo and then going through desires. Double Pandemonium. I didn't have a third, and I'm not sure that I would play it regardless, but I've seen a lot of people playing it at 3, so they don't banish it off the desires, but this seems to be the right number for me. Again, you're not shotgunning desires in this deck. You're searching first, going through your combo, and then desiring at the end phase, or at the end of the turn. So this will always be in your hand at the end phase, as long as you got through your regular combo. If you happen not to open up a starter, there might be a different, you might have to risk banishing 2 of these, in which case maybe the third is good. That's for you to decide, though. This is my number, and I've had no problems with it. 2 Desires. Again, this is another one of those cards I've seen a lot of people playing at 3. I run a lot of hand traps, so I bumped it down to 2 as well. You never really want to draw one off the other. I know it's not likely, but I like to make sure that I'm always getting something useful off the desires. It came up a bunch, obviously. You're doing this in pranks in the end phase, so you're essentially getting cleaning your deck out of Prank Kids and then trying to draw into those hand traps. The 1 of Instant Fusion, super useful card. Came up like 2 or 3 times in all 5 of my matches. The double monster reborn, as it were, is just super useful. It's hard to justify cutting this card when your deck plays the gain 1000, so you're never worried about losing in time, and it's just nice to have an extra security blanket there in case you need it. 1 of Called, again, your starting point is your weakest point, so you don't want to be caught without something to protect you. So this plus the Parallel Exceeds are going to protect you from getting dumpstered by your opponent with an Ash in hand or a Skullmeister in hand. Double Mine. This is iffy. I played this because I was a little worried about the Dinosaurs. I know Dinosaurs put out a starting board that's absolutely insane now. I might take this out for Dark Ruler no more, honestly. in the main. This didn't come up as much as I'd like, and this probably would be cut in future builds, but it never came up today. I never top decked it, so I didn't get a chance to determine whether or not it's good. Allegedly, it would be good if you ran into a dinosaur player and you were able to bait out some of their negates and stall for time. But here, I just didn't get to see it enough to tell you whether or not it's the definitive choice. 2 Cosmic Cyclone and a Duster. Super important that you're playing Mine Outs this format. Super important that you're playing Floodgate Outs this format. So you can't not play Spell and Trap Destruction in this deck, because if your opponent drops the Mine on you, you're going to end up without anything to do. I did get mined this locals, and the Cosmic Cyclone did save my life there, or else I would have been losing that game for sure. The Duster as well, just another useful back row clearer in case you see some more of those control decks. And rounding off the plan, a lot of people don't play plan. I personally find it invaluable. I saved my butt so many times to recycle. Not even so much for the attack protection or the link effect, but the ability to recycle all of your stuff back. Super important late game, especially. Came up in my last match against Drytron. Saved me from running out of Prank Kid bodies to summon. So this kind of soft resets the game for you, so that way you're not out of resources. Extra deck, 3 Meow Meow. I wouldn't play any less. I never actually needed the third today, but there were a lot of grind games where I came exceptionally close to making that third Meow Meow. I wouldn't play any less than 3. It's just way too important for starting your combos off. Even if you're just going for a Link Climb board, you want to have the 1 to start it off and then get you into your Link 2s. So 3 Meow Meow. Only 2 Doodle Doo though. Doodle Doo I found less imperative to have at 3. I know a lot of people like to have that at the triples, but again, it only came up in those instances where I needed to search. It was nice to have the second one, just to if your opponent imperms your search, you can still go into another Doodle Doo and at least end the turn off with making a Battle Butler on the next turn. So your Battle Butler is your end goal here. So having the second one is definitely necessary. Having the third one, I don't think is. Roar and Roaster. This is one I might consider cutting. I didn't make it all day. Allegedly, it is good. But thinking about all the times it never came up, when I wish I had something like Borreload or Appaloosa, or even IP Masquerada, I definitely wish there were times that I had something else instead of Roar and Roaster. So maybe this is a flex spot. Allegedly, it would be good if your opponent didn't happen to have any negates in the back row if you're going against some negate heavy board. The Bow Wow Bark. Combo centric. You can't play without the 1 at least. Some people do play 2. I'm only playing the 1. The recycle in this deck is insane, so I've never needed it second, but certainly useful. This is one of the cards you end on, so definitely play the 1 at least. And then the fusions, Rocket Ride and Washer, 1 of each. You don't need a second rocket. I know a lot of people think you do. Without 3 instant, if you had 3 instant fusion, I might consider putting in a second rocket. But definitely not necessary. Same with Washer, honestly. Washer might be another one of those flex spots if you're just trying to play, less Prank Kids, more cool extra deck stuff to tag into. So if that's something you're interested in, like a flex spot, definitely that's the card. Nah. Double Battle Butler. This is the bread and butter of the deck. The card that literally makes everyone rage quit. You don't have to play 2. I played 2. I did end up coming up, but definitely the double Regeki makes everyone quit. So you can't play without it. Dweller's just super good in this format. Your Exceed coming out and protecting your chain links. Yeah, it just means you make this before Pandemonium and you end up with a pretty solid board against just about everyone. You're stopping Tribrigade, you're stopping Dryton, you're stopping just about everyone with the Dweller. So if you happen to have the Parallel Exceed in hand, the best Frank 4 to go into. You might put in something else like Tornado Dragon or 41 as well, but definitely don't cut the Dweller. And then just the generic links for link climbing, access code, Union, access code, Nightmare Unicorn, and Boral Sword. All these super useful all day. You could maybe swap out the Boral Sword for a load or a Nightmare or an IP. whatever you happen to like more. But the Nightmare came up, the access code came up, all of it was super useful. All in all, I'd call the locals pretty successful. I never really struggled in any of my matches. I had a lot of tight spots that most of my deck planned for. Side deck wise, I did just play some generic side-ins for different situations. Torrential's really good this format. I got to play it like once or twice, and it, blew them out. That plus the 2 Raigekis makes it almost hard to play through. And since this plays, cyclically, where it's going to end up, coming back into the same combos, it's not a problem. Triple Lancia against the Tri-Brigade, it's literally going to blow them out evenly. For back row decks, Dark Ruler no mores for the negate decks. I played 3 Kaijus. The locals plays a couple Dragoon players. I didn't want to not have an out to Kaiju, and I don't have Forbidden Droplets, so that was super useful. Didn't end up seeing the Dragoon player, but I sided them in for a couple matches, just never saw into them. But all in all, yeah, pretty good deck. Hope you guys look forward to playing it.